If you feel like no matter how hard you work, you're always stuck in the same place, constantly running but never really moving forward financially, then you're not alone. I've been an accountant for years, and I've seen the same pattern repeat itself with hundreds of clients from different backgrounds. Some people earn six figures, some make modest salaries, yet so many of them end up living paycheck to paycheck. It's not always about how much you make, but about the habits you've built around money in life. And here's the thing, the middle class mindset, the one that feels comfortable and safe, is often what keeps you trapped in the rat race without you even realizing it. Before we dive into the habits that might be holding you back, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and turn on notifications so you never miss these deep dives into money and life lessons that can actually change your financial future. And if you really want to take this seriously, stick around until the end because I'll give you a challenge that could help you start breaking out of the cycle today. Now let's get into it. One of the first habits I notice with middle-class clients is lifestyle inflation. You know that feeling when you get a raise or a bonus, and instead of saving or investing it, you reward yourself with a new car, a bigger apartment, or just a more expensive lifestyle overall? It feels justified because, hey, you worked hard, you deserve it. But the reality is, every time your income goes up, your expenses go up right along with it. I've seen people double their salary and still feel broke. Why? Because their new money was already spent before it even hit their account. They upgrade their phone, their vacations, their clothes, and suddenly they're still in the same financial position, just with fancier stuff. That's how lifestyle inflation quietly keeps you in the rat race. The way out isn't to deprive yourself forever, but to consciously lock in a certain lifestyle level and make sure that any increase in income goes straight to wealth-building tools like investments, savings, or paying off debt. Another sneaky middle-class habit is relying on debt as a normal part of life. Credit cards, car loans, personal loans, student loans, people just accept debt as unavoidable. And don't get me wrong, sometimes debt is necessary. A mortgage on a reasonably priced home can be a smart move, but most people don't just use debt for necessities. They use it to fund a lifestyle they can't truly afford. They finance the car to look successful, swipe the card for luxury dinners, or take out loans for vacations. And when those interest rates kick in, it's like running on a treadmill that only gets faster. You can't really build wealth if all your future income is already spoken for by debt payments. The habit to break here is simple. Stop normalizing debt for once. If you can't buy it in cash without wrecking your savings, you probably shouldn't buy it. Then there's the middle-class obsession with looking rich instead of being rich. Trust me, as an accountant I've seen behind the curtain. Some of the people who look the wealthiest on Instagram, with the designer bags, new cars, and luxury vacations, are actually drowning in debt and have no real assets. Meanwhile, some of my millionaire clients wear regular clothes, drive average cars, and live in modest homes, but their bank accounts are stacked and their investments work for them every day. The middle-class trap here is tying your identity and self-worth to how wealthy you look instead of how financially free you actually are. When your goal is to impress people instead of securing your own future, you're guaranteed to stay in the rat race longer than necessary. Now let's talk about job dependence. A huge middle-class mindset habit is relying on a single income source, your job, for everything. Most people think as long as they have a stable job, they're safe. But here's the harsh truth, no job is truly safe. Companies restructure, layoffs happen, industries collapse, and if your entire financial life depends on one paycheck, you're in a fragile position. The wealthy don't just rely on one income stream, they build multiple. It doesn't mean you have to start $1 million business tomorrow, but even side hustles, freelance work, small investments, or passive income streams like dividends can make a world of difference. The habit you need to build is diversifying your income so that losing a job doesn't mean losing everything. And then there's the habit of ignoring financial education. Most middle-class families don't really talk about money beyond how to earn it and spend it. Schools don't teach financial literacy either, so people grow up learning by trial and error, or worse, they copy what their parents did, even if it didn't work. The result? People don't understand how credit works, how compound interest can make or break you, how to invest intelligently, or how taxes can eat into your income if you don't plan. As an accountant, I can tell you that taxes alone separate the middle class from the wealthy more than almost anything else. Wealthy people learn how to legally minimize taxes, while middle-class people just accept the hit every paycheck. Building the habit of learning about money through books, podcasts, mentors, or even videos like this sets you apart because knowledge is leverage. Another trap is buying liabilities instead of assets. Middle class people love buying things that cost them money every month but don't bring anything back in return. Fancy cars that depreciate the moment you drive them off the lot, expensive gadgets that lose value instantly, or even oversized homes that drain them with maintenance, utilities, and taxes. On the other hand, assets like rental properties, stocks, businesses, or even intellectual property continue to pay you long after the initial effort. The wealthy understand the difference and prioritize assets, while the middle class stays trapped by liabilities disguised as status symbols. A simple mindset shift is to ask yourself every time you make a big purchase, will this put money in my pocket or take money out of my pocket? Let's not forget the habit of avoiding risk at all costs. The middle class mindset is built around security: get a stable job, buy a house, save for retirement, and don't rock the boat. But here's the irony: avoiding risk is actually the biggest risk. Inflation eats away at savings, industries change, and if you never take calculated risks with investments, businesses, or personal growth, you'll always stay stuck in the same financial lane. The wealthy don't gamble blindly, but they do take calculated risks. They invest after research. They start businesses with a plan. They buy assets knowing the potential downside but also the potential upside. Building the habit of measured risk-taking is the only way to escape the cycle. The habit of short-term thinking is another rat race anchor. Middle-class people often prioritize immediate comfort over long-term gain. They'll choose a new car today instead of financial freedom 10 years from now. They'll spend bonuses on vacations instead of investing in assets that could give them vacations for life. The habit to build is delayed gratification, sacrificing a little now so you can enjoy a lot later. The middle class tends to think in terms of paychecks and bills, while the wealthy think in terms of decades and generations. We also have the tendency to overvalue formal education while undervaluing skill building. Don't get me wrong, education is important, but so many middle-class families treat a degree as the ultimate key to success, when in reality, degrees don't guarantee financial freedom anymore. Skills do. High-income skills like coding, sales, marketing, content creation, or investing often out-earn degrees, and they're more flexible in a rapidly changing economy. The middle-class habit of stopping education after graduation keeps people stuck, while the wealthy continue to learn, adopt, and build new skills throughout their lives. There's also the habit of poor networking. Middle-class people often spend their time socializing only with people in their same situation, talking about weekend plans, sports, or gossip. Meanwhile, wealthy people deliberately build networks with mentors, business partners, investors, and other people who push them to level up. Your environment heavily influences your mindset. If everyone around you is stuck in the rat race, chances are you'll stay stuck too. Building the habit of surrounding yourself with ambitious, forward-thinking people creates opportunities you wouldn't find otherwise. Finally, one of the biggest habits keeping people in the rat race is ignoring health and time. People forget that money means nothing if you don't have the energy, discipline, and focus to use it. The middle class often trades their health for money, working long hours, eating fast food, skipping exercise, and burning out. Then they spend all their money later fixing the health problems that could have been avoided. Wealthy people see health and time as the ultimate assets. They invest in fitness, sleep, nutrition, and routines that keep them sharp. Without those, even the best financial habits won't matter. So here's the bottom line: escaping the rat race isn't just about making more money, it's about breaking the middle class habits that keep you trapped. If you're willing to rethink lifestyle inflation, debt, fake appearances, job dependence, financial education, assets versus liabilities, risk, delayed gratification, skill building, networking, and your health, you can completely rewrite your financial story. The rat race isn't permanent unless you let it be. And since you've stuck with me this long, here's my challenge to you: pick just one habit from this list to work on this week. Don't try to change everything at once. If lifestyle inflation is your struggle, freeze your lifestyle for 6 months and direct all extra income into investments. If debt is your struggle, cut out one unnecessary monthly expense and put that money toward debt payments. If networking is your struggle, reach out to one new person in your field this month. Small, consistent steps are what eventually lead you out of the cycle.